Okay, welcome to this week's roundtable with the Harley technicians at Harley-Davidson in Panama City Beach. Scott, the service manager. We got Ace, John, Matt, Joey, and Bryce here today. And what we're going to talk about, most of our topic is going to relate to what's going on out in San Diego right now, and that is the annual dealer meeting for the new 2019 Harley-Davidson models. And some of the cool things we've learned about that. One thing that you guys may not know is we don't get any advance notice of what goes on, what Harley-Davidson is going to put out. We may occasionally see a color chart or something like that, but we're learning this stuff just as soon as you are. So it's kind of interesting to Harley-Davidson puts it out there on the internet and does their big meeting, and then we immediately sometimes get some calls, and we may not have much more information at that point than you do. But we've had a little over 24 hours now to go over our videos and go through our information, so we're going to talk about right now some of our takeaways. Well, what do you guys think?
I really like the new radio. It's really impressive. It's clean. There's no buttons. It shows the elevation going down the road. It shows the miles per hour digitally in the center. It's not like the old radio. It's very sensitive. The one I had on my lift the other day, you could just hover over the screen and it would actually pick it up. I didn't actually have to touch it, so I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I think I've seen an option over there where it actually keeps track of like your miles per gallon while you're driving, like your gas mileage. So that's a pretty cool feature too.
And also it has where your last service.
Yeah.
From the miles from your last service. You know, when lets you know how many miles you are from your next service too. So that's pretty cool.
Show them. Joey, do a little demo now.
Show us, Joey.
Show us, Joey.
On the new GTS infotainment. Like John said earlier, there are no buttons on the 19s. There are not the 4 buttons. It's all touch screen now. The cool thing about this, still does the same. You can toggle through the switch here or with your hand, with your fingers. So you can see some of the changes. Music, information, just what they were just talking about, lets you know your miles per hour, your services. This screen you can actually swipe through, like a smartphone. We'll go back, we'll go to, here's your mute button. Show you a cool feature, we'll go to nav. On the nav, you can actually go in and go out for that. Another really cool feature is, say it's cold out, it's winter time, you know your smartphone or touchscreen device won't work. This actually works with a glove. So that's a very, very cool feature. Make a phone call if your phone's hooked up to it.
And it works wet too.
Yeah, okay, exactly. But I ain't figured out yet. I'm still learning this, by the way. I haven't had a chance to read up on it yet. I'm working on a bike right now. So that's some of the cool features to it.
Also, you can supposedly get it wet and it still works.
Yeah.
Just like it normally would.
Don't use any ammonia-based products.
No ammonia-based.
Yeah, they made a big point of saying that over and over and over again. Don't use ammonia-based products. And I would assume that since that's actually built with the Gorilla Glass that comes in our smartphones, that that would mean don't use it on your smartphone either.
Yeah.
And I know everyone is going to ask, this will not retro to older models as of right now.
Yeah.
19s only.
Another big change is if you guys are into trikes, the trike models now come with ABS and a linking front and rear brake system.
Yep.
That is a real big change, right? Yeah, and they also have new, they call them dual bending front forks. I think it's the same technology that the older touring models had, but they're saying that they're not actually the same forks that came in the touring models. So
on the trike and the freewheeler.
and those will retro to the older models.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And the reverse button is located where the starter button, I think it's a dual button now somehow. Haven't quite seen one, figured out how it works yet, but it is not a separate button on the left-hand switch anymore.
114-inch now on all touring and trike.
Yeah.
So Harley's getting performance oriented.
And they also do have where the stators are retrofitted between the touring and the softails now, correct?
Yeah, they share a stator.
They
share the same stator.
Same stator now, so that's pretty different. And also on the softail models, they have the slimmer primaries and smaller derby covers, and which is a lot better for when you're in a turn or whatever. You're not going to scrape the primaries, clearance, and all that. So.
And it makes it easier to put your feet on the ground when you're at a stop, because you can put your legs can go straighter down. They don't have to be bowed out as much for the primary.
So that's pretty cool. And also the trikes have the automatic parking brakes or adjustments on the parking brakes now. So.
Automatic adjustment.
And you can no longer drive away with your parking brake on, or you can no longer put it in reverse with your parking brake on and pop your circuit breaker. They've put that software in there so that won't happen at the same time.
No one does that.
No one does that? Yeah. Only 3 this week.
Yeah. I'd see.
And of course, I think everybody's kind of so far ignored the big visual elephant in the room, which was the introduction of a new model, the FXDR, which is this photo right here. I printed one off of the internet for us, and that is a new sporty muscle cruiser. It's got some pretty cool-eyed things about it. One thing that I think is interesting and remarkable is that is now the second lightest softail in the line. Despite having the disc rear wheel and the wide tire and the big beefy look, they used a lot of aluminum and other parts on it. So it is actually the only bike that's lighter is the Street Bob, which is visually a much smaller motorcycle. So that they definitely did their homework on the engineering on that one. And lots of pictures they show of that thing, it's all leaned over in corners and not dragging, and they've got pictures of it on the racetrack. And it's also the most powerful 114 that Harley's making. So
Expecting it to be the next V-Rod.
So we're looking forward to getting one in and seeing what that one's really like.
Does anybody know what the weight of it is?
It was 637 pounds as delivered, I think, was what the weight was.
Cool.
Super light.
Yeah.
Super fast.
Super fast, super light, super badass.
Super futuristic.
Also got a lot of new cool paint coming out this year, such as this one. I forgot what they called that one.
That's Barracuda Silver.
Yeah, Barracuda Silver.
And they're doing a lot more with the two-tone, with the denim and the gloss also, not just on CVOs, but actually on some of the regular production bikes.
I love the road glide they showed. It's really got the one on the emblem.
The
on
CVO, yeah.
On the gas tank, it's really nice.
And also on those, they have those new front spoilers.
That's Fern
The
side
CVO,
spoiler,
the
yeah.
front spoilers, is
Yeah.
what they call it.
The
So
CVO road glide.
that was pretty cool
Okay.
on that. So.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bryce?
Yeah, I haven't said a word this whole time.
Oh man, come on, I can't do that too.
This is Bryce, our rookie tech.
We don't have rookies here, do we?
No?
No, everybody's awesome.
I've never said he wasn't awesome. A hard worker.
So if anybody has any questions or heard some cool things we were talking about and wants to go see more pictures of it, you can go to our website. There's some links on there. You can go to our Facebook page. You can see some of the videos alongside this one on our YouTube channel, and even more information at harleydavidson.com. So more places you can go to get some of this information. And of course, as the bikes come in, come on down, check us out, see them, ask for a tour of the service department. We'll show you more about the cool things that go on back here in the service department. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Dynamite.